Everyone, I'm so sorry for being late because I need to settle down a few things. So hi guys, I hope everyone is doing good, especially during this pandemic. Stay safe and only go out when it is necessary. If not, just stay at home. Oh yeah, by the way, I have something to share with you guys, and I think it would be an interesting topic for today. So yesterday when I was buying some stuff at Mid Valley, I happened to meet my old friend. She's the same age as us, but you know what? She's still unemployed. I think it has been around 1 year since she graduated, but still couldn't find any job until today. Scary, is it? I remember I read somewhere that the unemployment rate among graduates in Malaysia has risen since the last decade as the number of graduates entering the labour market has increased. That is why graduates need to find job that is not related to the field of study in order to survive. And the worst part is most of the companies rarely accept graduates from other areas because they want to avoid any future risk. This is serious, and I cannot imagine if I'm at her place because I need to pay for my study loan, cars and so on, isn't it?
So, what are the issues arise?
I think the main issue is due to the lack of employability skills among graduates. This is because we always heard that a lot of fresh graduates are unable to demonstrate a strong working performance, which is actually an important skill in order for you to survive in the industry. Also, fresh graduates these days are a little bit demanding, which they only want to work in a field that fits their qualifications, and most of them are unwilling to accept positions that fall short of their expectations. Other than that, I would say this COVID-19 pandemic. In order to break the chain of the virus, the government had to announce the movement control order, which makes some businesses need to be closed for a period, and we need to work from home. And as a result, many people are retrenched from their work. And at the same time, the fresh hiring also halted. So all these issues has contributed to the increase in number of unemployed people in Malaysia. If I'm not mistaken, the Department of Statistics mentioned that every year Malaysia's higher education institutions produce over 200,000 of graduates. However, 1 out of every 5 graduates remain unemployed, with the majority of degree holders struggling to find work. Can you imagine the scenario? So with the increased number of unemployed people who lost their job due to the pandemic, the increased number of graduates that remain jobless has made the unemployment issues in Malaysia as a critical issue that needs to be focused on.
Wow, this issue is very worrisome. So what do you guys think? Will there be any positive impact?
Yes, there are also positive impacts on employment. Let me further explain about it. The first implication is instead paying them with the minimum wage, fresh graduates are paid a decent salary. The use of competition and meritocracy incentive is a good idea. In fact, wages must rise to keep up with rising costs and living standards. A single adult, for example, must earn 2,700 per month to be able to engage actively in Kuala Lumpur. Individuals with a degree earn an average starting income of 2,207. Fresh graduates cannot expect to make a living in a month's time, and they must include in the cost of housing, which contributes for a considerable amount of living expenses. Besides that, they must also consider their monthly daily needs as well as the cost of public transportation on a monthly basis. The second benefit for fresh graduates is that they will have more time to look forward. If they do not have a job, they may have more free time to pursue new interests, develop new passions, and establish new career objectives. Unemployed graduates, for example, can continue their education and gain valuable skills by participating in programs such as e-Latte, which are offered by the Ministry of Human Resources. Apart from that, former students can also be put in organizations for a year and they will receive a certificate of testimony from the Human Resource Ministry. This will not only serve as a useful screening for employers, but it will also add to these individuals' work experience. This is clearly preferable to being jobless. Lastly, fresh graduates will have the opportunity to improve their credentials in areas such as communication, interpersonal, personal, numeracy, and general knowledge. Graduates with higher order soft skills will be more marketable and employable once they begin to participate and perform. According to industry standards, workers are rewarded based on their output. Employers commonly complain that graduates' productivity is declining, not due to a lack of knowledge, but due to their lack of soft skills when they enter the workforce. Hence, it is important for fresh graduates to master soft skills before joining firms so that they can increase their productivity and perform well in the industry.
I agree with you, but I think there must be a negative implication, but I can't figure it out. So, any of you have idea on it?
Okay, so I think I have read on this before, so I kind of know what the negative impact of it could be. So the first negative impact of the unemployment among fresh graduates is it can affect their mental health. So how? Okay, here is why. Since fresh graduates' source of money only come from their income, so unemployment will lead them to lose of money in order for them to continue surviving with the increasing living costs from time to time. So this problem has led to anxiety, lower self-esteem, depression, and also give bad physical health consequences, especially when they attempt to get a new job, but they always end up with failure in repeating in long period. So also, the stress situation also could happen due to the burden that they need to be faced in order for them to continue surviving, as some of them might be the provider in their family. So with that situation, it actually lead them to lower self-esteem, anxiety, depression, and also stress, which could lead to a bad effect to their mental health. Then the second impact is it do affect the economy. So according to study, the number of unemployment among fresh graduates has risen from 2019 to 2020 for 22.5%, which is from 165,000 to 202,000 people. So this implies that those unemployed graduates actually could bring a big effect to the economy of the country, since they are large in number. So with unemployment, it actually affects their household spending as their source of money has been changed, and also most of them tend to avoid eating out as compared to those with jobs. So this problem actually has led to decreasing in their purchasing power. So due to that, the demand of some services and also goods also decrease as most of their source of money has been disturbed. So this problem actually has led to loss for many suppliers, as they tend and need to lower their market price in order for them to meet the consumer demand. Here is the third negative impact of unemployment, where unemployment will lead to erosion of skills. So study has shown that the skills that the fresh graduate gain actually during the early graduation will then tend to be eroded and drive them to have lower skills as compared to those with job, as the skills are forgotten and also lack in use. So this situation actually can be called as hysteresis effect, where it means that the longer the person are out of work, and then the greater the loss of skills and also motivation for them to work. And this problem also affect their motivation to start to ignore the courses or any other program that could actually improve their skills, as they tend to start to accept that the fact that they are not working, and even if they have put much effort to it, they also be rejected by most of the employees.
I see. So did you guys have any thoughts on what can be done in order to reduce these unemployment issues among fresh graduates?
So the first suggestion to reduce unemployment among fresh grad is to expand in the agricultural sector. Agriculture is a practice of developing land, including the creation of food and other useful goods. Employment rate in the rural areas are decreasing because people are migrating to the urban areas, and in order to decrease the unemployment rate and to decrease the migration, people need to expand agriculture in the rural areas. Next, the government also needs to play a big role to help those people who want to start investing in agriculture, such as giving them a starting agriculture kit and also conducting free agriculture classes. There are a few agencies that can support farmers such as FELDA, FECRA, and also FAMA. However, in this new era, there are many youths are not showing any interest toward the agriculture sector, and there's only 15 population of young agripreneurs. The causes are like the rising shortage of agriculture land and higher paying jobs in the non-agriculture sector is more attractive. Agriculture only becomes more appealing to young people when it is profitable and also competitive. Youths are so important for the agriculture sector because there are a lot of modern technologies nowadays, and thus expanding in the agriculture sector is important to decrease the unemployment rate.
Okay, I do agree with your point, but guys, what do you guys think on the other ways to reduce unemployment?
Okay, the second suggestion to combat unemployment is by giving training to fresh graduate. Okay, so why giving training to fresh graduate is very important. Firstly, it is because it will give the fresh graduate the experience of how the real work environment is. Secondly, it will assist the fresh graduate in determining their professional path. And the third reason is because it will give a higher chance to fresh graduate to secure employment, especially in the company that they have their training at. Okay, so how training can be given to the fresh graduate? Okay, so this is where the government play a huge part, where they need to collaborate with the private company, since the private company is known for their higher productivity. So the government need to collaborate with private company in equipping the fresh graduate with the knowledge, skills, and also the abilities that are needed, especially in this current labour market. So actually in Malaysia, the government had already created a program, a training program for fresh graduate, which is known as SLIM. It is a training program for fresh graduate that are seeking employment. So this program is aimed to increase the employability of fresh graduate by helping them securing job after they complete their training. So actually there are many companies that have collaborated with government for this program, such as Maybank, Maybank Berhad, CIMB Bank, Tabung Haji, Aziata Group Berhad, and also Bank Negara Malaysia, and many more. So Maybank, for example, help polishing the skills of fresh graduates and also build up their work experience by giving 2 months of soft skill trainings and also 6 months of on-the-job training. The modules in other companies are different, but it is all have the same aim, which is to increase employability of the fresh graduate by helping them securing job after they complete their training.
So before we end our great discussion, I have conclusion for this topic. The issue of unemployment is imminent and worrisome, especially in the recovering economy after months of economic paralysis resulting from the pandemic of COVID-19. There are a few positive and also negative implications that have been explained in this discussion. To reduce the unemployment, the government needs to play a huge role in combating unemployment, which is expanding in agricultural sector and also providing training to the graduates. Thus, that is why the government needs to be mindful in creating fiscal and also monetary policies to reduce unemployment.